Secularism is the principle of separating religion from governance, politics, and public life, treating religious matters as private. It ensures the government does not favor any religion and bases law on rationality and social needs rather than religious beliefs. Key features include freedom of religion, equality among all faiths, and decisions guided by science and logic. Examples of secularism are seen in France and Turkey, where religious symbols are restricted in public space, and in India, where all religions are treated equally despite their strong cultural presence. Secularism does not reject religion, but ensures it does not interfere with governance, fostering social harmony, justice, and inclusivity while respecting religious diversity.
Now we will talk about the factors that contribute to the spread of secularism. In Malaysia, globalization and modernization bring challenges to the beliefs Akidah of Muslims. Globalization spreads secular idea through media, education, and culture, while modernization focuses on the progress and urban life, sometimes pushing religion aside. Exposure to the Western culture, especially for the youth, can lead to adopting secular lifestyle, which may clash with the Islamic values. Prioritizing economic and technological growth over religious learning can also weaken faith. To address this, there's a need to balance Islamic teaching with the modern progress, ensuring that the faith stays strong in the face of global changes.
My name is Nurahida binti Sarudin, metric number 1231534. Alright, another factor that contributes to the spread of secularism in Malaysia is education system. The secular system that introduced by British colonialists has become a basis in our Malaysian education system, which is the goal for the secular system is to separate the Islamic component out of the curricular and extracurricular education. Because of that, most of the young people are more interested in West education compared to the Islamic religion's education. In addition, for the Islamic studies are basically subject to material and ethical limitation. For example, a financial aid is provided for the studies that do not focus on aspect of Islam, but not for the plans to increase the Islamic studies. Not only that, for the graduate student in religion fields have a fewer job chances compared to the graduate student in other professions. So it is clear that the education system also contributes to the spread of secularism across the Malaysian society.
The decline of religious authority is a significant factor in the spread of secularism and refers to the gradual reduction in the influence and power of religious institutions and leaders in public life and governance. This decline has been influenced by various historical, social, and intellectual factors, and it has had a profound effect in societies around the world. The Enlightenment in the 17th and 16th centuries was a pivotal period in the decline of religious authorities. Philosophers and thinkers such as Voltaire and John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Immanuel Kant promote values of reason, individual liberty, and imperial knowledge, particularly in church should not have control over intellectual or political life, advocating for the separation of church and state. As this Enlightenment idea spread, they reduce the power of religious authorities and they promote secular governance. The second, the scientific revolution of the 60th and 70th centuries significantly weakened the authority of religious institutions. The groundbreaking works of scientists like Galileo, Copernicus, and Newton provide natural, scientific explanation and phenomena that were previously attributed to divine intervention of religious doctrines.
The next issue is the effects
of secularism to the Akidah of Muslim society in Malaysia. So the first effect is secularism restricts the practice of Islam only to personal matters, including acts of worship such as prayer and fasting, um, inheritance, as well as marriage contracts. As we know, Allah has designed Islam as a universal way of life, and we call it ad-din, which is Islam teaches all aspects of human's life. However, Muslims nowadays they tend to follow Islam in only certain matters, certain personal matters, and they ignore in some areas such as dressing modestly, the consumption of halal food, and others. And that's all from me. We will move to the next effect.
So I will go for the second effect of secularism to the Akidah Muslim society in Malaysia, which is misinterpretation of Islam due to follow the Western lifestyle. In this current globalization, Muslims that tend to follow the trend without being concerned with what religious matter or what headline. For example, I can take that the way Muslim women dress in public follow the Western influence than what Islam taught us how to wear. This put a gap between Islamic values and societal practice where the focus is more on appearance and conformity to the global trends rather than what religious had guide us. Also, the school provide limited focus on Islamic teaching may grows a lack of comprehensive understanding of Akidah among the young generation. At the same time, the exposure to the Western culture via media social and also normalize secular lives, which put Islamic values at odds. Due to materialism and secular norms taking precedent over spiritual priorities, this gives an effect to the weakness of Akidah in Muslim itself. That's all from me.
The last effect of liberalism is creates doubt about the faith of the Muslim society. Secularism is an act to remove the value of religion, which known as deconsecration of values. The meaning of deconsecration is a temporary meaning to cultural works and every value system, including religion. When secular human has considered relative, they will reject the fixed concept of Islam. For example, they only know that heaven revelation takes place in history which shaped by certain social and political conditions.
Okay, there were two steps in general that were recommended by Said Naqvi Al-Atas in his book. The two steps are the Westernization and then Islamization. The Westernization is the process of trying to isolate foreign elements or concepts missing in science that stem from Western skepticism. In terms of de-Westernization itself, it is a term that leads to the elimination of elements of Westernization that are rampant, isolation of foreign elements that are not found in Islam at all, including the concept of Western dualism in viewing the truth and the nature of reality, dualism of separation between body and soul, between ritual and impartial, and then foreign element which also include the doctrine of humanism. After the initial process is the removal or cleansing of element of Western personality from the body of science. The cleansing will affect the building construct of science in terms of concept, values, and interpretation of science. The next action that needs to be done is Islamization. That is structural change. Previous characters and personalities have been cleansed with the basic concept of Islam and centralize human being as object that must first be free from the shackles of traditional thinking, of animism, dynamism, social cultural, national culture, and moreover from secular ideology. The goal of Islamization is to form a civilized human being who is perfect in mind and language, free from secularization in any form. So the Islamic human beings are formed even from their thought and language. That's all from me. Thank you.
To curb secularism, it is essential to enhance Islamic education by modernizing teaching method while upholding Islamic principles, ensuring that students develop a strong emotional attachment to Islam and adherence to the Quran and Sunnah. Additionally, qualified scholars should connect religious teaching to contemporary issues, thereby balancing secular subject with an Islamic worldview. Finally, strengthening family and community support through mosque-based programs and community centers can foster unity and reinforce Islamic traditions.
In conclusion, secularism poses significant challenges as it separates religion from education, governance, and social life. Consequently, this limits Islamic practice to personal matters and weakens Islamic institutions. To address these issues, one proposed solution is Islamization, which aims to purify knowledge and prioritize Islamic principles in governance and education. Moreover, strengthening Islamic education by integrating modern and Islamic values is crucial. Ultimately, the goal is to preserve Islamic identity and build a just society guided by the Quran and Sunnah. Thank you.